13, I dunked it for the first time.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know my father, so I didn't have a father figure in my life. My mom wasn't around at a young age, so my grandma raised me and my sister. Were like little apartments made of like brick and metal for the most part. There was some Christmases I didn't get anything, or there was stuff like birthdays I didn't have parties. My kids could never deal with that situation, so I'm just blessed to be able to, change that for my family.
What do you think about Sagesse Club fans?
I think y'all are crazy in the most positive way possible. Once my money is late or I don't get my money, I turn to a different person. I never dealt with like not knowing if I was gonna get paid.
A lot of people like listening right now, they won't like what we're saying.
Politics, man. Politics. Some people they like lose reality to an extent. Play high school not knowing, not even thinking about college. Play college not even thinking about Division I. Then I got to Division I, not even thinking about the NBA. And then I got to the NBA.
In the NBA, they smoke, like players, they smoke weed.
Yeah, for sure.
For this episode, we're doing a giveaway, but for this time, we're giving a sweater.
Yeah.
So this is the sponsor of this podcast and this episode. It's written. This is a made in Lebanon sweater. I'm wearing it right now. It's really good.
Super nice.
If you want to win, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to this video so you will have a chance to win one of those sweaters. Pappy, I'm so happy to have you. You played in the States, you played in Europe, you played in EuroLeague, Eurocup. You were drafted by the NBA from Philadelphia. You were the MVP in the NGCAA League. And now you're in Lebanon with one of the best teams. So welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, brother. I'm excited to be here.
How are you doing today?
I can't complain. No complaints, man. I'm just blessed to, still be playing at a high level and blessed to be experiencing a new culture, a new country. Just blessed to be healthy and playing.
You like Lebanon so far?
Yeah, it's been a very unique experience, but I have nothing bad to say. And I've been welcomed with open arms, so it's been great for me.
That's great. I mean, I was looking a little bit. You started playing, so you're from Nevada, Las Vegas, right? So you started playing from there. And because I live in the States too, I know a little bit that this area is not maybe the best area to play basketball in. If you compare it to other places in the States, I mean, Las Vegas and all the, the casino and the crime, I mean, there's a lot of crime there. How do you feel like growing up in Las Vegas affected your career, long term?
It's actually crazy, man. Yeah, it's home for me, so I can't really speak on the other stuff. It's like I didn't really know the Strip until Las Vegas Strip until I got a little older, and I kind of stayed away from it. So I lived a regular life outside of the Strip, so it's pretty easy to obviously go in the other direction, like which is the stuff outside of basketball, the drugs, the gang banging, and what else? Just the illegal stuff is easy to go in that direction, but basketball was put in my hands at a young age, and I loved it from the start, and that's kind of what I stuck with the entire time.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, everything, like every home country feels home, right? Like for me, Lebanon, it feels home. Whatever you have, like we were discussing before we started the podcast, it's funny, like Lebanon is very chaotic and you have a lot of stuff going on, like, into politics and the safety of the country, but it just feels home, and it's very, subjective, and you see it from a different point of view. And I feel like in Nevada, like from my point of view, it's like crazy, and, Las Vegas, and you're like, oh no, that feels like home. So that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, no. Everybody, obviously, it's a tourist city, and everybody just thinks of it as super fast and a lot going on, losing money, a bunch of all that stuff. But outside of the Strip, man, like even now, I stay maybe 35, 40 minutes away from the Strip. Las Vegas has grown so much to where they have so many houses and so many communities outside of Vegas. Like a lot of the NBA players stay in Vegas now.
Right.
I got a lot of NBA friends that decided to move to Vegas in the last 10 years or so. Yeah, a lot of basketball there is really big now too.
Right.
Just from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's just growing.
Yeah. From NBA, USA basketball, they all do their training camps in Vegas. A lot of NBA teams do their training camps in Vegas. Or you got the AAU tournaments, high school tournaments, kids, all that stuff is all like Vegas is like the biggest. Summertime is the biggest time for basketball, I think, in America.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, after when you started playing in Nevada, and how did you start playing in college? Because I think you were also nominated as the MVP of the NJCAA, and I want to know a little bit the route how you were able to get at this point.
Man, so initially Vegas has historically been known, like before the last 10 years, historically known for like producing guards, like small guards, and so when I was coming up, I don't like school. I'm just gonna start it there. I haven't been a big fan of school ever. So when I started I was a freshman on varsity. You know, I was really small, but I was good enough to be on varsity, which is a big deal. And so once I got to my senior year, I was one of the best players in the state. But again, we get back to school, which is very important to the kids. Any kids that's watching this, school is very important. So due to my like past couple years in high school, I didn't qualify for Division I. So no big universities could recruit me for the most part because I wasn't eligible to go there. And so I had to go to the NJCAA, the JUCO. I had to go to junior college and pursue my basketball dreams there. So that's how I ended up getting to a junior college in Idaho, in the middle of Idaho.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a hard place to sell to get a kid like myself or anybody from like the inner city of any big city to go there. And but definitely was probably my biggest basketball decision I made in my career. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I really like you said that back in your time, there was a lot of, point guard that they're not big in size, right?
Yeah.
So that was like something very common, especially from Nevada, Las Vegas. I don't know why, maybe genetics, but I've seen a lot of, point guard. Let's say if I think about one right now, like Tony Parker, he's not a big guy. And he's just like short, and he actually did really well. And I don't know if
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. Hall of Fame. I don't know if you know this guy, Isaiah Thomas. He also played a lot when you were playing too, and he's not a big guy too. How did your height, like, do you feel like, was it something that is affecting you, or you actually took it, seriously and you worked on it and it helped you?
Yeah, like, are you asking, do I think it's like a handicap for me?
Not a handicap, but was it a strong point or, something? How did you deal with it? Because I will go to the next question. And you actually, I see you, like, you jump and you just dunk. You dunk like you're like a big guy.
Yeah, I was blessed. I definitely was blessed. I've been able to dunk since I was like 12 years old. And just imagine, I'm not that tall now, so I was really small then. So yeah, man, I just think it's just added motivation. Basketball has historically been a taller guy's sport, and you've had your guys like myself, Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, Tony Parker. You got those guys that have been super successful for themselves, and I guess I just use it as motivation. And I think it was just a built-in chip on my shoulder that I had when I was younger to help me sharpen my skills, because I do know ever since I've been young, I've always came across guys that were super athletic, but skill-wise, they just weren't good. Like, I just always was like, even now, I still see kids, like, I see they're super athletic. I'm just like, bro, like the way I think about basketball, I love it so much. I'm like, how aren't you guys getting good? Like, you can be athletic all you want, but that dies out at some point. You got to be able to shoot. Got to be able to handle the ball. Got to have some type of knowledge of the game. And when I was younger, that's something I took heed to and, just tried to make sure that I got good. Like, nobody couldn't say I wasn't good. That was my only thing. Like, I worked on shooting. I worked on isolation stuff. I worked on being able to, like, learning how to run a team and stuff like that. So, like I said, I think just being small, it was just a built-in chip on my shoulder. I never thought about it when I was younger, like that I was just so much smaller than everybody else.
So you said at the age of 12, you were able to dunk?
Well, I was like grabbing rim and like missing dunks. So 13, I dunked it for the first time.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, how did you train? Like, I don't know, you were 13, so probably you're not like very aware of it. You just like genetics, like you were able to jump. Is it like a program? I mean, at 13?
Nah, so when I was younger, we didn't really have all the stuff that kids got now, like the sports performance and all that. We didn't have none of that. I just played outside. I will say just repetition, man. Just trying to dunk, or just trying to slap the backboard, or just trying to grab the rim, slap the net, or we'll play on like low goals, like we'll put it on like 8 feet, and we'll just act like we're in the NBA, and we'll play like that. That's how my friends. We used to play on, so the shopping carts at the grocery store. Man, it's crazy. We used to stack those on top of the trash can, like the wheels on the bottom. We would put that part, the little gap between the basket and the wheels. We would put that part on the edge of on the edge of the trash can. So
you make it a basket.
Make it a basket, yeah. Okay. And that's where we started. And then we'll stack one on top of the other, and we'll make it to it's probably like 7 foot, and we'll dunk it like that. That's how I started. Wow. So that's kind of how we just started jumping all the time. I was doing backflips and all that stuff.
So you're very athletic back in the days.
Yeah, I was always athletic, but
you went into gymnastic or something?
Nah, I was poor, man. We was poor. We couldn't afford to do none of that stuff. So we did our own stuff.
Dude, that's ridiculous. At 13 touching the rim. I still
at probably 5'4" maybe. I was 5'5" at maximum 5'5". Wow. For sure. I was small. Yeah, I'm 5'10" now, so I know I was 6 to 5 inches shorter back then.
So you talk about being poor. Can you tell me a little bit what was your situation in your family that back then, just like growing up in Nevada, Las Vegas?
So long story short, I don't know my father, so I didn't have a father figure in my life. My mom wasn't around at a young age. So my grandma raised me and my sister pretty much until I was out the house, until I went to college. And yeah, man, we was on Section 8 housing, welfare, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but yeah, it's pretty much she get a check from me and my sister every month from the government. We stayed in houses that were made of brick, or like little apartments made of like brick and metal for the most part, and my grandma did a great job of making it feel like a mansion. I still to this day. So they tore down my old places, and they gentrified it. Basically, they turned it into like a really super nice big public library, which was beneficial for that area. But yeah, man, I still think about those times, not being able to go back there once I made it to the NBA and stuff like that, to see where I came from and just have that that full circle moment. But yeah, it was tough. It wasn't that tough thinking back on it, but like now being able to raise my children the way I raised them, like it was tough for sure. Like my kids could never deal with that situation. So I'm just blessed to be able to change that for my family.
Wow, that's a good way to put it. I feel like the more, that's what a lot of athletes, the more you struggle when you're young, it's not like you should go the hard way. No, sometimes it's good to be like easy, everything, you have access to everything. But when you grind and when you get all those obstacles and you just go through them, you just know the value about stuff. I feel that's super important, especially in the States. You have a good country where the system is really good, but you have a lot of poverty and a lot of cases. So that's an interesting thing. So what do you feel about, like, right now is the biggest value for you, and what do you want to give your child? You have a son, right?
Yeah.
What do you want to give?
A daughter and a son.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome, man. What do you want to give your daughter or son, something they can, memorize, or the value that you learn from, your childhood?
Well, being grateful. They have a hard time, being spoiled and just getting anything you want. You have a hard time of valuing the obviously that you have it good, like you have it better than a lot of people. Whenever they, my daughter's a lot better than my son is. She's a little older, so. Just getting lost in the fact that if you didn't get what you want, like catching attitude and throwing tantrums and stuff, like there's really kids out here. Like I would put myself in the situation and I'll tell my kids like, yo, I didn't get none of this stuff, or like there was some Christmas I didn't get anything, or there was stuff like birthdays I didn't have parties, I didn't have friends I didn't have sleepovers, I didn't have none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have a car a lot of the times. Like it was stuff like that. Like
not having a car in the United States is like not having anything.
Yeah, no, it's some of that stuff is hard, man. Like, or you have a car that barely runs, like a car that's not like put together as well. You know what I'm saying? And or just being able to go out and eat whenever you want, like just little stuff like that you're normal, like that you're used to doing. Like I just try to make sure my kids, you know, just try to be grateful, say thank you, little small stuff like that. Because I got to a point where I could pretty much get anything I want, like now as an adult, because I work for it. But like a lot of people don't know what to get me for gifts, because it's like, what do you get for somebody to get everything themselves? Like, thank you. Like a thank you and like a hug goes a long way for me. So that's just something small I'm trying to put into them, to where they, you know, are just grateful for every little piece that they have. And I think it's working so far for them.
Yeah, small things. I feel life is about like small things. Those, you know, small things you're talking about is just very precious. I mean, you don't have to focus on big stuff. Like I mean, money is important, but like ethics, values.
Yeah, morals for sure.
Yeah, morals, absolutely. Sure, like 100%. Those things are, you cannot teach someone. You just it's a culture thing. Yeah. You grow and you learn all of that. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and the character, obviously, character. You just don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be an asshole. You want to be a person that's, you know, with any circumstance, your character and your morals don't change. That's one thing that has to stay the same. You know,
whatever happens,
it happens. But you have to remain the same person, or something's gonna change you for the better, never for the worse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, I know a lot of kids that are well off get lost in that because they're so used to getting everything their way. So when it doesn't go their way, they kind of go in a different direction and change for the worse. So
especially right now, you have distractions everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like literally, like for me, I mean, back in the days, if you have only one thing you can focus on, if you have multiple things to focus on, I mean, there's a lot of distractions. You're not oriented to a specific thing. And that's what I feel like kids nowadays, or adults too, they're getting distracted.
Yeah, as soon as you pick up your phone.
I mean, that's distraction.
Yeah, as soon as you pick up your phone.
It's funny. I was asking you, like, before we started the podcast, you're like, no, I don't use Instagram. I mean, I don't do that, you know? And you have a lot of followers, but yeah, it's funny. You told me about your video game. You just opened this because it's a little bit less. And that's because you want to, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel you want to avoid distraction. It's nonsense distraction.
Yeah, what happened with me was, so I got to a point where, so when I went to junior college, nobody really knew me, right? So once I started winning, you know, I became the National Player of the Year. I won. I go to Baylor, which is at the time it's a mid-major school, but when I get there, we kind of get on the national level. We get to number 3 in the country. I have 2 lottery picks on my team. I come into the public eye a little bit more. I hit some game winners. I get on the mock draft. Like now I'm on a national news, like national eyes and stuff like that. So as time goes on, I start getting accustomed to the attention, and Instagram becomes popular. I get a bunch of followers, and I find myself entertaining people I don't even know. I find myself entertaining people on my comments that don't know me. Like I'm arguing with somebody. Like I just felt like at the time I didn't notice it, but as I got older, once I had kids, like obviously your followers start following you for a certain content that you're putting out. And I know once I had like a little rough mental patch, like I was going through mentally, that I was having a hard time with. Like I'll post some basketball and I'll get like a bunch of impressions, and then I'll post my kids and I wouldn't get the same impressions, and that bothered me a lot. Like it really bothered me because I don't care about basketball as much as I care about my kids. So once I didn't get that same type of feeling I had for my kids from the people that were following me, I kind of was like, yeah, Instagram really isn't for me. You feel me? That we don't value the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? But,
what kind of impressions?
Just like I'm saying like comments and likes and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't get the same amount of likes I would get from my kids. Like if I post, so Drake was my favorite artist. He follows me on Instagram. I posted a video from highlights from China. It got like 200,000, 300,000 views. He followed me from that video, right? So maybe 30,000 likes, something around there. I post my kids, I get like 2,000 likes compared to 30,000. I'm like, at the time I was dealing with, I'm like, bro, I hate that. Like, I don't like basketball. I don't love basketball that much. I love my kids. So when I posted it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of gotta take Instagram for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's entertainment. That's what they see my page as. And I kind of released myself from it a little bit because I found myself arguing with people. I found myself trying to post all the time because it was attention that I felt like I needed from people I didn't know. So that's kind of when I started. That was like maybe 4 years ago. And that's kind of when I started, releasing myself from social media. It took too much time. And then the screen time thing came out from iPhones. I was like, yeah, man, I'm on my phone too much doing all this stuff that I don't really care about. It doesn't make a difference in my life for real. I'm not a content creator to where I'm making money from it. So it's like, I don't really need to be on it that much. And that's kind of where I separated myself from social media.
I really like how you said like just posting your kids doesn't show anything. And that's bad because I feel like
it frustrated me so
it's like
bad.
a society thing, right?
Yeah.
Just want to see like success or pictures or achievements and all of that. But then you post your kids, it's like no one is actually caring about that.
Yeah. I was pissed off, bro. Like I told my wife just one day, like, bro, I was so mad at like my followers, but at the same time, I was like, bro, I can't even be mad. That's why they follow me. They follow me for basketball and like in sneakers and stuff like that. They didn't follow me to see my kids. Like it might be a few people that like
your family, maybe.
Yeah, my family and like so I have older like I have like grandmas and like stuff like that follow me that love to see my kids. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like the other 90% want to see straight basketball and sneakers and stuff like that. So I took it for what it was, and like I said, I post from time to time if I do post, and it's gonna be basketball.
Right, you're not making money off an Instagram, right?
No, I don't post enough. Like I mean, I could do that, but like I said, it takes up too much time, cutting, editing,
screen time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. Yeah,
it's too much.
We go back to the thing like you have to focus on one thing. You cannot like do everything. I mean, some players, they maybe hire someone to do it.
Exactly.
But this is like, it's very personal. Like maybe you're happy just the way you are. You don't want like to be million followers on Instagram. Nah. Just have a couple of hundred, maybe make you feel like, I'm just satisfied.
Yeah, no, I don't. Like I said, it's like a false realization of stuff. Like some people are so into that stuff, they lose reality to an extent. Like it's,
you got to be real.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of getting into two and two, and I was like, I don't know, I can't explain it, bro. When I was in it, when I was on it all the time, I just was like I was posting for attention sometimes. Like if I was single, I was posting for attention. Like I would post something with my shirt off just so I know what type of attention I was going to get from the girls, or I would post shoes knowing what type of attention I was going to get this type of reaction and impressions from it. Like I knew it. That's when I was like, I'm doing too much. So then when I had kids, I was like, I'm posting my kids because I love them. There was no other reason. Right. Like there was no other reason. That I have no reason to post my kids other than the fact that I think my kids are beautiful. That's it. Like you post a picture with your shirt off to get the girls. Post a picture for some shoes so they can say something about the shoes. But I literally had no other reason to post my kids but for me and that my kids are beautiful. I wanted to show y'all that. And then once I seen that they weren't getting the same type of, reaction, I'm like, okay, like forget Instagram. Like let me get away from this.
I had a coach one time told me, just that Instagram getting attention from people, but he break it down this way. He told me, you're getting attention from Instagram, but are you actually fulfilling your need? What do you need? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, nobody knows for real.
Exactly. Like, what you actually doing it? Yeah. And he told me like one time, he told me the story about his wife, all right? She wanted like flowers, right, on Valentine's Day. And he absolutely forgot. So she actually bought flowers to herself. And then he realized that, oh my God, he forgot, right? But it's about fulfilling what you need. And I feel this is like a good way where Instagram is just, all right, give me attention. Because let's say you posted something and you don't get a lot of followers or likes or comment. You'll get like discouraged.
Yeah, facts.
It's not like you will get like, I don't want to post anymore.
Or either delete it.
Yeah, because I'm not getting like people watching me, seeing what I'm doing.
It's been like that. I've done that. Like if I post something and didn't get like the amount of likes or something that I feel like it should have, I'll delete it.
And I feel it affects your confidence.
For sure.
Like you're not confident at this point because it's like you're performing in a game and then you're losing.
Yeah.
So result of not getting comments is absolutely losing the game.
Exactly. And now they made it to a point where like the technology is just going crazy. Like they got it to where you can get insights and see how many people clicked on the picture or how many people like unique pages clicked on it. Like they do all that stuff now. So like people can really see like what's really going on. That's a lie. It's too much.
It's too much. Like, it's controlling, like a lot of manipulation in that.
They got a thing on there to where now you can see when's the best time to post. Like it's crazy. Like where are your followers from? Like it's way too detailed. And that's why, that's really, like I said, that's one of the bigger reasons why I don't take social media serious anymore.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I'm glad that you're following that route. You're not doing those crappy stuff and, you know, getting into that social media. So after you were in South Idaho University, you went to Baylor, right?
Yeah.
So what was the transition?
It was a transition from Vegas to Idaho first. Let's not skip that. So I went from Vegas, super diverse. Then I went to Idaho, just strictly white people, like already the minority. So I go to Idaho. The only black people in that city are the basketball players.
Okay.
That's it. Maybe a couple girls on the volleyball team. And then you got some Africans. But outside of that, so it's maybe 12 of us all together. So that was, man, that was crazy. But then going from Idaho, I went there for 2 years. So I went there for 2 years. And I went to Texas, which is still kind of the same difference. A lot of white people, country white people. I don't know if you've been to Texas or
no, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like country white people,
right?
Like, a little intimidating. Everybody got guns,
right? Texas.
Yeah, but I did get to see, just from a living standpoint, just the language barrier. You have a language barrier in America when you go to different parts of America, which is great. Yes, if you go from the West Coast to the East Coast, it's totally like the language is crazy. So I went down south and I didn't understand some of the stuff they were saying. Like I went down there, I just didn't. I went to like get some food, and the lady, I didn't understand what she was saying. I had to tell her to slow down. Like you're talking too fast, or I don't know. People, you know, slang. Slang is just totally different down south, and that was a part of the culture shock. Going to Baylor, just the female to male ratio at the school was crazy. Just it was 4-1 women to men. So I was not used to seeing that many beautiful women just in one place. And then basketball wise, coming from Vegas, like I said, we majority guards oriented city. I went to a team where we had a 6'10" player, Perry Jones. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Perry Jones was literally me at 6'10". He could jump damn near as high as me. He was just as fast as me. Couldn't dribble as good as me, but he could dribble. So at 6'10", being able to shoot, dribble, jump out the gym, like I've never seen that in my life. So once I went there, I went on a visit actually. I went on a visit and I got to see him play for the first time in person. And him and obviously a few other players are the reason I went to Baylor. So being able to see those type of athletes in person at that size was ridiculous. I've never seen nobody that big being able to run and jump like that. And it was maybe like 3 or 4 of those guys on like him on the team. So being able to see that many athletes and that much skill in one gym on one team is pretty much why I went there. And that was definitely a huge change for me, being able to play with those caliber of players.
Nice. Yeah. And then you were recruited to the NBA from the Baylor, right? Or
yeah. That's where I got my opportunity from.
From Philadelphia.
Yeah, but just from the NBA in general. Like
right.
I didn't know how it worked. Like I didn't know how it worked, honestly.
What was the highlight? Like why they chose Pierre Jackson, not someone else.
So that summer I went to like Adidas has like a camp. They hold like an international camp for kids. And they have a college counselor part of it where they bring like the top players in college and they play against each other while the kids are playing against each other. And I got asked to do it as a replacement. I don't know why. I was fresh from junior college. I don't know why I got invited, or why coach told me, but I went and I was able to play. Damian Lillard was there. I'm trying to think what other NBA player. John Wall. It was like some of these guys are still in college though. So I got to be around there, and that's where the NBA first got their eye on me. Just because the NBA scouts go to that and they watch those top players there too. So I was able to be there. I just was like, I'm here. I'm happy to be here. And that's how I started. So when my junior year came, I played really well, and that's how the NBA kind of got involved. I didn't know how the scouting worked. Like they would come to your gym and like be dressed casually, like the scouts, and you wouldn't even know until like middle of the year, because I'm not a good practice player. Like I hate practice too. Like practice is so like just redundant and repetitive. Like so once the middle of the end of the year starts, and like it gets to wearing on my mental. Like I hate it. Like if we are in here for 2 hours, I just feel like we're wasting time. I just feel like we're not in there focusing on one thing or how we can get better or a few things to get better. I just feel like y'all just got us in here just because y'all can. So coach finally told me, he was like, hey man, we got some scouts in here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Why you telling me? Like, you telling me? And he's like, yeah, man. He showed me I was on the NBA mock draft, and that's kind of where my mental shifted to where like I got a chance to make it to the NBA. Right. Yeah. So I had no idea how it worked until he told me that.
All right, Pappy, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first game you played, you got a big injury.
Oh, yeah. So after I got drafted, when was this? So I got drafted, the team sent me overseas. So I played overseas. Then I went to the D League, the Development League. And that's when my rookie year, I averaged 30 points as a rookie. Had a really good year. And I couldn't get called up to the NBA unless the team that drafted me, which was the Pelicans. The Pelicans were the only team that could call me up. So they didn't call me up. So that next summer, on draft night, I got traded to the 76ers. So before I could sign a contract, I played in the Summer League. And Summer League, first game, after I scored 7 points in a row, I popped my Achilles, yeah. So it was the next year after I got drafted.
So you stopped for how long?
I guess you can say for the year. I was out
the
for
full
the
year not playing.
Yeah, because I actually, man, it was crazy. My rehab, I attacked my rehab so hard, man. I was dunking and stuff at like 4 months after the surgery. It was like crazy. It was unheard of. My doctors was like, they were like, what the heck? Like, what are you doing? But I'll say the whole year. I sat out the whole year.
So, I mean, I'm just thinking about it. When you don't play at this level, do you still get paid with the contract? Like, how does it work from a professional point of view, not playing due to a 1 year injury?
It depends on your situation. Like, I'm super blessed for the 76ers, man. So I tore my Achilles before I signed the contract. So realistically, I had no money. Like, I would have been with no money for the whole year. But they signed me to like a league, like a minimum contract to where I was making $400,000 something before taxes. So pretty much if you get hurt before you sign, you're pretty much screwed. Like you could literally not make any money at all. But if you sign and then get hurt, usually in most contracts, your contract is supposed to be guaranteed. It's different in the States and then like overseas. Like it's totally different. Like some of these teams overseas will like completely destroy you. Like it's not fair at all. But in America, like once you sign for something, unless you breach the contract, you're owed whatever you signed for. So at that time, they signed me to a minimum deal, and I was able to make some money while I was rehabbing.
Okay, cool. So they pay you everything, right? It's like you're playing.
Yeah. I got paid as if I was
full timer, like playing and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive.
That's super, super blessed. They didn't have to do that either, which was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I was super blessed for them to be able to do that for me.
Okay, so do you feel like you said you play in the minor league and the NBA, which is, so you have the NBA, then you have the minor league, right?
Yeah.
What's the gap in between those two leagues?
In what sense? Like
level wise, level and financial.
Level. Financial is not even close.
All right,
it's not even close. Like it's the gap between NBA and any other league damn near isn't close.
It's not, yeah.
But I don't know, the level of play, man. I just think it's changed. When I was there, you had like a few guys that stood out. Like they're not supposed to be in a D League. Now it's kind of, now they got two-way contracts. They got guys that go up and down. They got guys that, like the NBA has a bigger roster now. So like guys can, and they got more teams in the G League now, to where when I was there first, they only had maybe 15 teams. And now they got 30 G League teams. So like now, if you got too many players up top, you can just send them down to play in the G League. Okay. And no, it's a lot different, and it's like super younger now. Like it's so many kids coming out of school so young that are not making it in the NBA. So they just go to the G League. So I think athleticism wise, it's crazy, but skill wise, I think it's went down in value. But compared to the NBA, it's closer than it's ever been, I think, because you got so many young superstars in the NBA. So like a lot of those young guys are kind of
we were talking about Anthony Black before we started.
Yeah. Like see, I think he might have played in the G League a little bit. Like it's so easy for them to go down and go up. Like back then, it was hard because a lot of teams didn't have G League teams. So like I played for the Portland Trailblazers G League team, but the NBA team that drafted me, the only team that could call me up was New Orleans. Now New Orleans has a G League team. So if I was to get drafted to New Orleans, they wouldn't send me overseas like they did me when I was there. They would just send me down to the G League team because they have a G League team now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got your point, yeah.
So now it's totally different. Like, obviously in social media, it makes a big deal now too. Like, if I would have been doing what I was doing in the G League now, like I would have been, I probably had 500K followers just from what I averaged 30 as a rookie. Like that was unheard of.
Do you think like if you were right now a little bit younger, so let's say the timing, right? So you were playing right now in the G League or the same performance, but we're in 2024 with all the social media, you feel like your career would be different later?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If I would have played in college now, it would have been totally different. A lot of things changed for the better, I think. Like I got drafted. I was a scoring point guard. Like so in the conference I was in, I led the conference in scoring and assists. Okay. Right? So if I was to do that now with more scoring, like they averaged maybe 15 to 20 more points than we did when I was in college. I was the leading scorer. So you add 5 more points on to mine, that's maybe 25 points and 10 assists I averaged out in college. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just inflate the numbers a little bit for everybody for the most part. And then if I was to do my vertical, I had like a 45-inch vertical in college. If I would have did that on social media today, it would have went crazy. Just a lot more people would have been talking about it than they did back then. Because even now, like an old clip or something came up when I was in the G League my rookie year, and I seen it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, like they really kind of ignored what I was doing back then. Like if the media was to catch on to this now, like the team would get so much flack and so much, response from not calling me up. Like why? There's no reason I should have been playing in the G League for $2,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man. I feel this is kind of injustice. I mean, not injustice, but timing. Like the timing is different. So I was listening also to another podcast, and they were interviewing a WNBA woman, and she was just explaining how Kelsey, you know Kelsey?
Yeah. Kelsey, yeah, they from my Vegas team.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were interviewing her, and then they were comparing her to LeBron. So she's a really good player.
Yeah.
And then you have LeBron. But those two players, I mean, just social media wise, just like income. And she also said that when they sell her jerseys at the shop, no commission for her.
Yeah.
But when LeBron sells jerseys, he get a lot of commissions. You know, so it's kind of like timing wise, and I feel like there's a lot of injustice. I mean, for me, this is like just pure injustice. I mean, you were like jumping high and doing all of that stuff, but where's the coverage? You know, so
no, for sure. So the women and the men thing, that's a very touchy subject. I do I support women's basketball. I do think they, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. It's just we in like a weird time, man. Like. Because when I was young, like, WNBA basketball was super popular. Like, they used to sell out arenas. Like, it was crazy. They used to sell out arenas. I used to watch on ESPN. I used to watch that stuff. And now it's like people like to troll all the time. Like, I don't know if it's the younger generation. They just like to talk like shit all the time. Like, they always trolling in the comments. Like, go make me a sandwich. Like, they say stuff like that. It's like, bro, y'all don't even watch none of this stuff. And then you got social media platforms that post like, when the women miss a layup, or if the women miss a wide open layup, they post that. We do the same thing. Men miss wide open layups, men airball, men miss dunks. Like, obviously our game is a little more exciting because we are more athletic. Yeah, obviously. But we do the same thing they do for the most part. Like, we miss wide open layup. You have a 7-footer a 7-foot man that can dunk misses wide open layups. It happens. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, I just think social media likes to make jokes of minority. And I think the women are a minority in the game, which I feel like there's enough room to be appreciated, like enough room for them to be appreciated and for them to make some real money, because I think they deserve it. I'm a big basketball fan, so I know a lot of women basketball players, and they are amazing. Like, some of them play in the summer with us. Like, they're not killing us, but they're holding their own, which says a lot. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Las Vegas Aces, which is Kelsey's own. I'm from Vegas. I'm like the biggest fan of them. And shout out to the WNBA. Shout out to the Las Vegas Aces.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's funny, we were talking like before the podcast about like trash talk, right? And especially in Lebanon, like there's a lot of trash talk. Like if you do something, and we were just discussing how people, they want you to do something and they like encourage you to do something, and the second you do it, they're like, oh, why you're doing this? This is like absolutely trash talk, you know? And we're in a culture where everything like is small, and people talk a lot about, you know, this kind of stuff. And you were just telling me, like, in the States, like, no one cares. Like, no one actually care about what you're doing at a specific moment, like in your personal life.
Only if it's detrimental. That's the only time I feel like it should even matter.
How did you deal with that? Like, being in Lebanon, just about all that, you know, small culture, small environment, I mean, it's like a family, right? It's like you live in a big country where one family.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, it's very different. But what I will say is, on the negative part of it first, I'm gonna address that first. Like, the stuff that you hear and see is on social media, and I'm not on it. So I'm not on there like that. So I don't really see much of it. I just kind of see what my teammates or my friends go through, right? Which I don't understand. Like, everybody got, like, that's like me following whoever manages the restaurant, and then like me following to see what he's doing at home, and then giving him a hard time about it. Like, that doesn't make sense. As long as he's running his business the right way, professional, nothing's detrimental, he's not disrespectful, not hurting nobody, what we talking about? There's nothing to talk about. Right. That's the only part I don't understand. But outside of that, man, it's a lot of love being shown. Like, obviously I only lost one game since I've been here. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Like, I know fans, like, when they love a team so hard, like, it can go either way. But for me personally, it's been love. I've enjoyed myself. They've definitely made it as home as possible as it can be, me being here by myself without my family. So, yeah, I know they love basketball here, man. They love basketball.
It's an obsession at the point, especially for Sagesse fans. I feel like they're obsessed by the team. They love it. No. They're just into it a lot.
Yeah, no, especially the way they travel too. Like, at the games, like the away games. Like, only played home twice. And and they come to the away games like it's a home game. I think they tried to kick our fans out one game because there was too many of us.
Really?
Which is super dope. Like, I always want to see your fans at an away game, like being louder than the other team. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an advantage for us. So, yeah, so far Lebanon's been amazing for me.
You like the food?
Yeah, all that. I'm trying to think. Like I haven't been to one bad restaurant so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
I like Murray's. Murray's. I don't know how you say it.
Okay.
It's kind of by where I stay, and it's that dynamite shrimp is crazy. It's amazing. I love it.
Okay.
I usually go there after practice every day, so I'm like a regular there. So
nice.
It's
what do you eat?
I usually start with dynamite shrimp. They got some amazing grilled chicken wings. Their salads are good. Their shisha's good. I'm trying to think what else. I could be grabbing a bunch of stuff. They got these like spicy potatoes that are really good. I just try stuff, and usually nothing that they brought out has been bad.
So you said about shisha. Do you do it?
Yeah, they got shisha there too. Yeah. No, like I said, I just started shisha maybe like a year ago, and that stuff is all over the place out here.
Right.
Like all over the place. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I don't smoke shisha like a cigarette smoker like every day, but it's in every restaurant you go to. Like I think that is crazy.
It's a culture thing.
Facts. It's fact. Like I don't think nothing wrong with it. Like if that's what you do, that's what you do. But I don't think nothing's wrong with it, because you got people that you actually have basketball players that smoke a pack of cigarettes.
Even in NBA.
I don't know about the NBA. You know they smoke weed there, but I know since I've been in Europe and other places, I've had teammates that smoke cigarettes at halftime.
So let me pause you a little bit. In the NBA, they smoke, like players, they smoke weed.
Yeah, for sure.
How often?
I don't know. I mean, like personally, I don't know, because I don't smoke weed. But I mean, you got like a lot of former players come out now, like Matt Barnes and them, Pierre Jackson. They have podcasts called All the Smoke. Okay. That's literally the name of their podcast, and they tell stories about how they used to smoke when it wasn't like when you weren't allowed to. But now the NBA has allowed you can smoke it. You can smoke now.
Does it affect your performance, or
I have no clue. I can't tell you from no personal experience.
What about your shisha? Do you feel like this is something that, because here's the thing, a lot of people like listening right now, they won't like what we're saying. And I believe that you're an athlete, right? So you're a human, you're normal. I mean, you practice every day, twice a day, games, pressure. There's a release somewhere. I mean, you can do like mental therapy. You can do ice bath. Perfect.
Yeah.
But if you drink one drink every 2 weeks, if you have a shisha once a week, like even pro players, I'm pretty sure they do that, like the NBA. And you're just saying that there's like a whole podcast about this thing. Yeah. And you're just human. I mean, I don't believe like people like, I mean, I know you don't drink alcohol. You just mentioned that when I was hanging out with you before. But I mean, shisha and those kind of stuff, I mean, we're human. Whatever contract we're signing is just papers and numbers. Yeah. Right. And I feel like I'm a fan. I mean, I had a pro player too. I knew him personally. He told me before every single game, he eats gummy bears. That's the worst thing you can actually eat. Like if you go science, if you go articles, that's the exact opposite that you're doing. You're doing like trash, but he feels good. I mean, mentally, he feels so good. And every time he skip it, he doesn't play good. Yeah.
I just feel like it's so much stuff that we do right. Like people just try to find something to be wrong. Like I don't know. I just feel like I said, if it isn't detrimental to what you're doing and it's not illegal, what are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand it. Like
detrimental, you're talking about like affecting your performance.
Yeah, if it doesn't do anything bad, whether it's messing up your performance or embarrassing the name of the front of your jersey, the name on the back of your jersey, you're not disrespecting anything, then why? You're just trying to find an excuse at this point, right? So if we lose, like, right, listen, not even just me, just hypothetically, right?
Right.
Going to a game, we could talk about shisha. Let the subject be shisha.
Okay.
We going to a game, right? No, forget it. I'll say me, right? So if I was to have a bad game against whoever we played against, and then after the game, y'all see me smoke shisha, immediately y'all gonna be like, he's smoking shisha. That's why he lost, right? And then I go and have 40 points, and then y'all see me smoking shisha. They're gonna want to take a picture. Am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
Right. So I just think like we got, not even just here, just anywhere. Like people just try to find scapegoats to either be an asshole or just point the finger at somebody or something. Yeah. Which you got multi-billionaires that do something that they're not supposed to be doing, but they're successful.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like even obviously a lot of them are doing some illegal stuff. Like Jeffrey Epstein, that list is coming out soon, right? But like I said, you have billionaires that smoke cigarettes, or you have millionaires or thousandaires, whatever you want to say. They do something that somebody else wouldn't do, which is their choice. That's how I feel. Like I said, if it isn't detrimental to any success or anything positive, or I just don't feel like it's nothing to be trying to make a thing about.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to put it. Definitely. I mean, that's another thing. I was listening. You watch tennis or no?
Say that again.
Tennis. You like tennis?
I watched a little bit of tennis.
Yeah. So there's a guy. He's famous. His name is Nick Kyrgios. I'm a big fan of this guy, but he literally explained how he drinks alcohol.
Yeah.
Not very often, but he goes to a bar, drink alcohol. He's a human. I mean, basketball is part of his life.
Yeah.
Basketball is not him. It's part of his life.
Exactly.
Tennis. Sorry, I mean tennis in this case.
Exactly.
Is part of his life. Tennis is not Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah.
I mean, he said like he was doing it back. He started doing it and he felt a little bit good, but then he had some mental issues, and then he coped. Like he took it as a plan B or something to make him feel But the reality is that he started drinking alcohol and felt good first. I'm not saying that's a good thing on a pro level.
Yeah.
But you have to escape somewhere. And it's normal to have. We're human. I mean, it doesn't make sense like, be perfect. No, you're not perfect. Yeah. Or you cannot be like, I don't know, the best everything in the world. And you're 40 points.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I mean, some people, like I said, I don't know. It's just not realistic, man. I just feel like it's a scapegoat to try to, blame somebody. That's it. Because some people, like I said, some people do illegal stuff.
Right.
Some people do illegal stuff, and I think that's obviously not okay. But something I don't drink or smoke weed. That's just not my thing. But I don't think it's negative. I don't care if he does that, as long as he doesn't get drunk and starts driving, and you know what I'm saying, or comes to the game drunk or comes to the game high. Then
you have to be professional on the court.
Exactly.
Off the court.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So once I'm off the court, I'm not a basketball player. Like, I am Pappy. I'm off the court, relaxing. I'm doing the same thing you're doing at this restaurant. Right. Or I'm doing the same thing you're doing at this bar. Like, as long as I ain't in here tripping or causing a scene.
So there's a limit. That's why you're saying. Like,
yeah,
you have
just
to
like
limit
anybody,
yourself.
though. People, every day, people go to work. When they go home, they take a drink or they want to party. That's what they do outside of work.
Why wouldn't you be like this?
Why can't I?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or unless you like I said, unless you're doing stuff, like even so, look, to an extent too, like I know some stuff comes with the job. Like, as long as you're not like out here like abusing people or just embarrassing yourself, it shouldn't matter. It should not matter. Cause I take heed to like, I don't want to look a certain way in front of kids for sure. But in front of some adults, I don't care. Like, I don't care what you think. Like a kid, I'll be like, let me put the shisha away probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me smile because the kid is right there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's days where I miss my family, and like sometimes I gotta go into work and like act like I feel okay, because there might be some kids in there for the camp. Like I gotta go in there and like, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? What's going on? And internally, I'm sad, and that's just how it is. You gotta think like I am human.
Right. That's an excellent point. I mean, this is so true and so unseen and so pressurized. I feel there's a lot of pressure on, all right, physical training, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Like, train hard, do all of that, sleep well. I mean, hey, relax. You have a 10 years, Gary. How can you be consistent with all of that pressure? I feel sometimes like I break out when I work out a lot 6 times a week and I go like drink and do this kind of stuff. And I mean, hey, I need to be more consistent with that. You know what I mean? So that's a good way to put it. All right, Pappy, we're going to do some Q&As right now from the fans. So the first question is, did you think that you will reach this point in basketball in your childhood? This is Farah Khatib asking.
No. Like I said, growing up when I was a kid, I just played basketball because I loved it. I was having fun. Yeah, so like if I knew like I had a chance to make it to the NBA, I would have went to school. Like I would have took school more serious. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I had a chance. I just wanted to get good. I wanted to be better. I wanted to prove people wrong. That was like always my thing. Like my brand's called They Sleep. Obviously, they is the naysayers or the doubters. They sleep on you, obviously, and that's always been my thing. Like, so every level I got to, once I got to high school, I wanted to prove that I was the best. Once I couldn't go to Division I wanted to go JUCO, junior college. I wanted to prove that I was the best. I always just played to prove that I was the best, just so I could keep playing basketball. Played high school not knowing, not even thinking about college. Played college not even thinking about Division I. Then I got to Division I, not even thinking about the NBA. And then I got to the NBA, and it was like, I'm just hooping. I'm just playing at this point just for the love of the game. So I did not think about that. Because when I was younger, I didn't even watch NBA basketball like that. I played like N1 mixtapes. I don't know if you're familiar with N1. It's like street ball. And that's what I kind of idolized when I was younger. So the NBA wasn't even my first thought. But I'm definitely blessed to be in this position now, to be able to play where I played at.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah. What keeps you motivated to keep balling? This is, by the way, it's only one Arad asking. That's his name on Instagram.
What keeps me motivated to keep playing basketball? Oh my God, that's a crazy question. I almost quit 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
What happened?
Politics, man. Politics. All it takes, I think in any profession, all it takes is like one powerful person or one person with respect to like say something negative, and it can ruin everything. So like being outside of the NBA and like playing in Europe and all these different countries, I've never dealt with the level of unprofessionalism. Like I never dealt with like not knowing if I was gonna get paid. Right. And I think that is crazy. Still to this day, I think it's crazy. So I've dealt with a couple situations to where I didn't get my money, or I didn't get all my money, or a team was trying to blackmail me for my money. Like, it was crazy. I've never been in those situations like that. And I got to a point where once I made it to the NBA and once I got to the EuroLeague and I did what I did, and once I went to China, I averaged so many points. I'm like, man, I'm proud of myself. Like, obviously I still want to play, but I don't really think I have anything to prove to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I still want to provide for my family. So then once they like stop paying me or like mess with my money or like trashing my character, like I kind of lost my mind a little bit. Like,
right, you weren't expecting that.
Yeah, because like I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. I am the most low maintenance person you ever have to deal with. I promise you, bro. I just need Wi-Fi.
That's why you asked me first. Like,
yeah.
Do you have good Wi-Fi?
Bro, listen, I just need Wi-Fi and make sure my money make sure I get my money. Right. You won't hear a peep from me. I promise you, bro. Especially the majority of my career, I've been by myself. Like, my kids and my family's been in America. So if I'm by myself, you won't even see me outside of the gym. Like, unless like the team want to go out to eat and we arrange it, outside of that, you won't even see me. Like, I'm in my room, I'm out the way. I didn't smoke shisha till last year, bro. I'm telling you, like, okay. I didn't do nothing. I'm sober, never smoked weed, never drank in my life. But once my money is late or I don't get my money, I turn to a different person. Like, because we sign these contracts.
Exactly.
This side honors it. This side honors it. I'm gonna honor my contract. I'm never gonna embarrass the team. I'm gonna be at every practice. Not gonna be late. None of that. Every game. So once that happened, I kind of like.
You felt that was Sagesse Club or no? Like
No.
they were late.
It's been solid here. It's been so ever since 2020, I made sure every team I go to, like, bruh, I will leave. I will leave in a heartbeat. Like, I made some good money in my career to where, like I said, I was ready to quit. I was 28 or 29. I was ready to quit. Because there's no way I can leave my family like this, like, for 10 months at a time, and you think you guys aren't going to have to pay me.
Right.
Like, there's no way. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I it was just like I just felt like betrayed, because, you know, like they'll smile in your face. Like, it's kind of the same difference, like how the fans are. Like, I don't want to say, that's a bad word. Slavery is a bad word. But it's like it's always like what have you done for me lately? Like, obviously it's a job, so you can get fired.
Right.
So once I'm here working, I'm away from my home, away from family and stuff like that. Like, teams will make it to where they'll make you really uncomfortable, to where you got to do something. Like, they're trying to make you breach your contract, so they don't got to pay you. It's stuff like that. I had a team. This is the last thing I'll say about like this, but I had a team. I was hurt. They wanted me to play. They wanted me to get drugged up, take shots and stuff. Like, no way, right? I had a team basically had the whole coaching staff and management like not talk to me for like the last month and a half of the year. So I would go to practice while I was injured. Literally walk in the gym, they wouldn't speak to me.
Jeez.
Wouldn't speak to me for a month and a half. You know how absurd that is? How many days that is, bro? So I had a team deal with like that, and then that was really hard for me. I didn't know what to do then, because like they was trying to make it to where I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys, I'm leaving. Like, they wanted me to do that so they didn't have to pay me, which is like crazy mind games. So initially, what helped me kept playing basketball was the chip on my shoulder, to proving people wrong. And then it got to a point where I didn't feel like I needed to prove anybody wrong no more. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in this situation. I wasn't supposed to go to the NBA. I did it. I proved so many people wrong. I was accomplished then. Then once I kept going, I kind of start just playing to provide for my family. So once they start, you know, being weird and not paying me and stuff like that, I kind of got over it.
Step back.
I wanted to quit. And then like once I started, like I love basketball so much, like I was working out at home, like playing at home, like bro, I couldn't leave this game if I wanted to. You know, just speaking to my wife and my family. My son kind of got into playing basketball a little bit. I was like, bro, I gotta keep going. Like, I got too much basketball left in me to, you know, one, obviously, I'm not ready to work a job, a real job. Secondly, I got way too much basketball left in my body. I've been blessed to be this good. So I'm gonna just keep going until I can't anymore. So that's part of the reason why, obviously, my son is playing now. So just trying to show him the ropes pretty much while I'm still able to.
Nice. Huh? I mean, I love your answer.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's Theo LG. He's asking you, are you looking forward to face Riyadi in Manara in the next derby?
Next game. So look, I'm gonna try to answer this the right way. The more I've been here, the more I'm trying to like get used to the rivalries and the history of Lebanese basketball. I still don't know that much.
Right.
So I'm not as excited as everybody. Like I'm just going into the game ready to play. Like I know now, since playing them last week or whatever, that game is important to the fans. But I'm still new to all this. So it's kind of like I don't hate them. Like I don't.
Right.
I don't
you don't feel the rivalry because you don't know the history. Like you just show up and like it's a game. I know it's a derby game, but it's not like, I'm not
as invested like to hate them as the fans are. You know what I'm saying? I want to beat them, obviously, but hopefully by the time that comes, I'm more like
I feel
I'm
more tense
and fuck them like when we get there. So but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for every game, man. Like you don't come all the way over to
Right.
a different country to not be excited for games. Like I said, I don't really care for them long ass practices, but the games, I'm a gamer for sure, so I look forward to it.
Nice. So, how is your Lebanese league experience going? That's the same person Theo is asking.
It's cool, man. Lebanese basketball is different, man. It's different. It's different. I would say that. I got it. So my thing here is it's not even the physicality. It's not the players or nothing. I got to get used to every gym I've played in. All of the rims have been different. Every rim that I shoot on has been different. Like that's something I haven't been used to. I can honestly say that it's been bothering me mentally. Like shooting on like even our home gym. Like I cannot figure out them rims yet. So that we have 2 different rims on each side. Like they're not the same rims.
Okay.
So like it bothers me so much. So I still have to get used to that. But everything else is fine, man. I love the locals here are pretty good, and obviously Riyadh has the best locals. But outside of that, the everybody speaks English.
That's good.
That's amazing.
That's great. Yeah.
Makes a big difference because some players, like, obviously because they know who I am and stuff like that, so they kind of like they play like a little too hard to where it's kind of like dangerous, and I'm able to like say something to them like, yo, like I know your job, I know you're supposed to like try to stop me, make it hard for me, but like I respect it if you just play. You can play hard, but like you kind of, you playing a little dirty. Like you look, it comes off as dirty.
Yeah.
And I'm a hooper. I'm gonna play hard with you, but come on, man. Like it's easier to speak on that because they'll say, like, obviously if they're not a dickhead, they're gonna be like, all right, bro, I got you. It's cool. It's all love. Like we just play hard. It's respect. It's always got to be about respect. But other countries like China, I played in China before. They don't speak no type of English, so it just comes off as dirty. So like I'm gonna be dirty back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you don't get that dialogue to where it's a respectful type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So here, that's even reality. Like I spoke to some of the guys on the other team. It was respect. Like we gonna try to kill each other out here, but it's gonna be respect. I'm not gonna try to hurt you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
So it's been cool. Like the whole Lebanese basketball experience has been good for me.
Great. What was missing to win versus Riyadh? This is Angelo Aii asking.
What was missing?
Yeah.
Shots. We didn't make enough shots, man. I think we could have won that game by at least 15 points. Like I said, see, they don't know. I'm having a hard time with our rims, guys. I'm always in the gym. I'm always at the gym getting up shots and stuff, practicing. I went 6 for 18 or something like that. Like I missed way too many shots. Like every other gym I played in here, I figured the gym out, but ours, I have not figured it out yet, but hopefully I'll figure it out soon. But I think Basil, he went 1 for 6 from 3. Omar went 0 for 4 from 3. Bobo went 1 for 4 from 3. Like I went 3 for 8 from 3 or something like that. I just think if we made a couple more open shots, that the game would have been totally different. And we turned the ball over way more than them. So I think that was the difference. But, not to make any excuses, but I think next time, once we make shots, I think we'll be fine.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to combine 2 questions together.
Okay.
So Adam Busada and Charbel Crady, you're asking the same thing, so I will combine it. So I'm respectful for both of you guys. So how's the Lebanese experience till now in Lebanon? We already asked that. And what do you think about Sagesse Club fans? And Charbel is asking, what do you think about the fans too?
Okay, so I'm going to speak on the fans. I think y'all are crazy in the most positive way possible.
All right, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think y'all are crazy in the most positive way possible. It's always a great thing to feel the love and the energy of walking into your home gym and, I don't know. It's just like, it's like a feeling that you can't explain. Like, so I love going into my own gym and hearing the fans, and I also love going into the away game and hearing the fans boo you. I love both of those energies, but the difference in the energy at home is, you can hear they speaking to you directly sometimes. Like when you go to your bench, you can hear them like encouraging you, like, you got this, Pappy, like, you gonna make the next one, like, bring us home, like you get to hear that, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a bunch of love. You can't beat that. And Sagesse fans really give a lot of love, even outside of the games, just walking around the city and seeing them at restaurants and stuff, and having their kids like buy into that same type of that fanatic, you know, that they have as an adult. The kids are just as crazy, and I love it. So it's definitely been a really cool feeling.
That's great. That's great. Pappy, for this video, for this episode, we're doing a giveaway, but for this time we're doing we're giving a sweater.
Yeah.
So this is the sponsor of this podcast and this episode. It's Written. This is a made in Lebanon sweater. I'm wearing it right now. It's really good.
Super nice.
Yeah, and this is the box of it. It's actually really beautiful. I'll put it here on the cam so you guys can see it. So this is made in Lebanon. It feels so good. And they deliver to you wherever you go. Pappy got one. We'll put it somewhere in the video. So thank you, Written, for supporting the channel and for the sponsor. And if you want to win, we're doing a giveaway of the exact same sweater. If you want to win, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to this video so you will have a chance to win one of those sweaters. They're amazing. They come with the box. So make sure you do that. Pappy, it was a pleasure. I mean, you're just an amazing guy, and it was amazing talk.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.